Hello and welcome. This little video is going to be an update to the Sky Intern settings video that was done quite some time ago, a few versions back. And since the upgrade of Sky Intern up to this point, up to 1.9, there has been a setting adjustment that is available to you. And we're not sure that you know exactly that it is available, or we want to make sure that it's used properly, because it can be quite advantageous, but at the same time quite dangerous. Okay, so here's what I mean by that. So we're going to talk about strictly the entry configs. So where it says lot size calculation, before there was only the option to do a percentage of your account. Okay, now if you double click on it, it has the opportunity to do a fixed lot size, All right, but again, really want to emphasize how dangerous this can be if you use it incorrectly. All right, especially if you're using a live account. So, but in order to really give you the full understanding of the fixed and what it looks like and the dangers involved if you do it incorrectly, I want to explain the percentage and how that works. So here we have it set up to where a percentage, we're going to set it for percentage. In this instance, risk in percentage or fixed lot. So this could mean fixed lot, or this could mean percentage, because, and now, I mean, since this is set to percentage, we're obviously going to take this as 3% of your account is going toward any particular trade. Okay, and then these other two basically say that if you get an alert and it has 3 take profits, then it's going to take 3 orders, and then it's going to split the total lot size that this is calculated for, total lot size, for each take profit order. All right, so let's click on something. Let's look at a pocket size calculator to really see what that looks like. So here we have a pocket size calculator. You can find it. You can get an app for it, or you can find other ones online, but this one's myfxbook.com. Simply come up to home and then Forex calculators, and then it's called position size calculator. So this is how this works, if you didn't know this already. All right, so let's assume that I have a $3,000 account. Most traders risk anywhere between 1 to 5% of their balance on any one given trade per pair. All right, so if you get an alert and it's a trade, and let's say it's a Euro USD trade, no matter how many take profits, right, you're willing to risk 3% on that one trade total, right? Total. Okay, so let's go ahead and just use 50 pips as a stop loss. Just keep that as a general. So when we click calculate, this is how this works. On that one particular trade, Euro USD, even if it's 3 take profits, which means 3 orders, the most money you're going to lose on a 50 pip stop loss is $90 on that one pair. Okay, and then it's going to calculate what the lot size needs to be in order to risk $90. So now what it's going to do, it's going to take 0.18 and it's going to use that to create however many orders the trade signal says. So let's break the numbers down here. So we did 3% of $3,000, and it came out to 0.18. 0.18 was the lot size. So let's say, for instance, you have one trade alert, but it has 3 take profits. So this is how this is going to work. It's going to take 55% of that total lot size, and then it's going to put that on your TP1 order, according to these numbers right here. Which again, obviously, these are completely changeable by you. I mean, you can make these any numbers you want. The key things that you want to remember, though, is that, let's see. So first of all, the numbers must equal to 100%. Okay, all 3 numbers, when you total them up, must equal to 100. And you also must use a comma to separate it. Here you go, comma, to separate the numbers. There's no space in between the numbers. There's just number, comma, number, comma, number. Make sure you do not use a period, okay? So that's how that breaks down. Again, simple math, but this is what you would have to do normally if you were doing this all manually. If you were manually taking these trades, you would either just pick a number, which if you want to be more precise, then obviously you want to do the math itself, or maybe the master trader would say, you know, use 0.01 lots for every $1,000. It just depends on how that works out, right? But if you were to do it correctly, right, to really be more precise on the amount, on the percentage of risk that you're taking, you're going to need to do the math. So again, 0.108 is the total lot size, and then 55%, according to this, if we were to follow these percentages, right? So 25%, if we were going to do number TP2, we do 0.18, multiply that by 25%, and that's going to give us 0.045, right? 0.045. .045, which if you round it up, it's going to be 0.05. And then we do the math on the next one. Just simply clear this. And basically, you can kind of figure out it's going to be 0.03 even. But if you just wanted to do it just to see it, 0.18 times 20%, 0.36. Well, in this case, it should be 0.04. So what might happen, let me look this again, 0.036, 0.036, or 0.00, 0.03. Let's do it that way. I don't know why I did this. Sorry about that. All right, here we go. Now the numbers are right. All right, so either this one will be 0.04, but because the percentage is higher, this is typically how it's going to break it down. It's not exact because there's a lot more numbers involved, but it's just going to be, because the lot size can only be, you know, 2 decimal places, that's basically how it's going to break it down. All right, but if you add these all up, it's going to be a total of 0.18. That is how you use this part of the percentage selection of the size calculation. Now, this is where it's going to get dangerous, and we're going to talk about the fixed rate. So here we go. So if we change the lot size calculation to fixed, okay, to fixed. Now again, I cannot overemphasize this because it's super dangerous, especially if you have a live account. Now I'm going to show you the numbers just so that you really fully understand what's going to happen here. All right. Let's say, for instance, I change that to fixed rate. What this is saying is it's going to use a fixed rate, right? A fixed rate of 3%, or 3.0. That is a lot size of 3.0, okay? Now, let's do the math on this. Let's do the math on this one. It's going to be crazy. All right, so if we have 3.0, a lot size of 3.0, that's 3 standard lots, and we multiply that by 55%, we're going to get a lot size of 1.65. A lot size of 1.65. Okay, so let me move this down here. Lot size. And to keep the ball rolling, I did the math really quickly, but this is what's going to happen. This is the lot size for TP1. It's going to be a lot size of 1.65. The second one at 25% of a lot size of 3.00 is going to be 0.75, and so on and so forth. Now, let's really look at what these numbers are. Okay, so again, we're trying to get a total lot size of 3.0. Right? If you accidentally put that 3.0, this is what it's going to look like on a $3,000 account, guys. So I take you back to the position size calculator. Now, this is 3% is going to give us a lot size of 0.18. So can you imagine what kind of risk percentage and how much money you're going to lose if you left the fixed rate at 3 standard lots. This number right here, 3.00. So let's see, is it 10% of our account? All right, because this again, does it on percentage right here. This calculator does it on percentage. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to adjust the percentage because that's the same, and that we're going to use the standard 50 pips. All right, we're trying to get that to say 3.00. So is it 10%? Nope. It only gets us to 0.60. Right? All right. Well, is it 25%? Nope. Well, now you can see 1.5. That's half of that 3.0 at 25%. So essentially, guys, think about this. You will be risking, right, to get it to a 3.0 standard lot. You will be risking on your account size, right, 50% of your balance, which means if it loses, you're going to lose $1,500 on a $3,000 account if it hits stop loss. Okay? So I cannot overemphasize how important it is to make sure that you use the correct numbers here per whether it's percentage or whether it's a fixed rate. So if you're going to do a fixed rate, make sure that you changing these numbers. Now if your lot size is big enough, if your account is big enough and 3 standard lots is your deal, then cool. But I'm pretty much speaking to most people who have the very, very small accounts, $5,000, $3,000, or even much, much less than that. Can you imagine? And I don't even think it'll take the trade if you had a $500 account with 1 standard lot. Let's do this. Let's see, $500, right? And we're trying to get 1 standard lot. 1 standard lot. Let's do 10%. Boom. See, I need to actually do the math, so yeah, you can't even do it. You can't even get it to 3.0. All right, it won't even let you on a $500 account. So again, working the numbers, super important that you do the numbers correctly. All right. So now if you're going to do a fixed rate, let's say 3% is really kind of what you're doing, right? Of a $3,000 balance. Now, again, it's completely up to you how you do this. But now I know that for me, I want to risk 3%. Let's say I want to risk 3% on every trade, right? So I'm going to use this as my reference point, 0.18. Right? So if you want to use 0.18 on every single trade, then what you're going to do is you're going to in the settings section. In the settings section, you're going to change the fixed lot size to 0.18. So that way, every single trade, you're using the same lot size. Now, it's still going to break that lot size down to these numbers, right? These percentages, right? So you remember how we did this last time with a 0.018 math. So here it is. We just, again, it'll break that down 55% of the 0.18. Now, if you're the type of person that wants to do a little bit different again, all right, actually, let me go back. So let's say that you keep this, and so for every single trade, it's going to use 0.18 as your lot size, no matter what pair. Okay, no matter what pair, and no matter what your balance is. So if I all of a sudden lost a bunch of trades and now my account balance is $2,500, notice that 3% of my $25 account on that same pair right there is only 0.18. Well, guess what? I have a fixed lot size of 0.18. So really, realistically, on the next trade that I take, it's probably going to be a little bit higher. No, not that higher. Hold on. Let's see, 3.5, maybe 3.5. Let's try that. Oh, almost. So you're going to be risking on that trade about 3.6%. All right, 3.6%. And if you really think about it, you know, if you're as your account goes down and you're still using 0.18 lot size, okay, your risk percentage is going to be it's going to end up being higher. Okay, it's going to end up being higher. So where realistically, if I was just using a percentage of my risk percentage, then I would really only be risking 15.15, and because I'm only using 3.0 or 3% on a fixed, I'd only lose $75 on that account balance. So it's really important that you understand, that you fully understand that, okay, how that works. Now, some people are like, I want to take the exact amount of lot size on every single order. Now, on every single order. Now, that's a little bit more difficult, and really can't do it because we really can't break these percentages down here equally in threes to get 100%. Okay, so but basically what you would have to do, the first order would probably be a little bit higher, right? But then you would probably have to do something like 34, come on, 34, come on, 33. Okay, I'm sorry, that would be 34, 33, 33. That would equal out to 100. So what it'll do is it'll take that total lot size and break it down into threes, so that your lot sizes are as close as, as close to even on every take profit as possible. And that would, the math for that would basically break it down to 0.06, 0.06 per TP. Okay, but even now, and that's assuming that you're getting 3 take profits. Okay, 3 take profits. Now, what happens if only the signal only comes with 1 take profit? Well, guess what? Your full lot size on that one order is going to be 0.18. Okay, well, what if only two orders come in? Well, what happens is that it's going to, let me do this here, it's going to take your first 2 numbers right there, combine that percentage. It's going to combine that percentage. So 80% of 0.18, 80% of 0.18 is going to go towards the TP1 lot size. All right, so let's go ahead and say it's 14.14. And the rest of it is going to go on the second order, 0.04, I'm sorry, 0.04. The math might be just a little off, but I just threw those numbers out. My point is that it combines these first 2 percentages, takes that lot size, breaks it up, and it's going to place 80% on your first order, and then the remaining, which ends up being 30%, on the second order. So there's really no way right now to say, I want to put the exact same amount of lot size on every take profit, okay? What this does is it says, I'm going to use this exact amount, whether it's a percentage or whether it's a fixed rate on the total, on the one single trade, okay? On the individual trade. Now, here's another kind of maybe a little bit advanced, but what you can do, let's say you can make it, take one lot size, right? One single lot size, but only do 1 take profit. Okay? That way you know that every single trade will always have the exact same amount of lot size, the exact lot, on that individual, on that take profit. So in that instance, what you could do is you can, to make sure that 0.18, right, is the exact same on every take 1 profit order, right? Only one order with only 1 take profit. Then you're going to set it up to where it says 50 or 100, 0, 0. If you only want to do the exact number of fixed lot size on only the first 2, right? Only on the first 2, Then if you put 0.18 and you put this as 50 and 50, let's do right here, 50 comma 50. So what that means is it's going to do the first, so yeah, in this instance you can do 50 comma 50, and then it'll break that total lot size into two equal parts, which would be 0.09 for each of those. So again, there's so many different ways that you can do that using the fixed rate. Um, you have to do a little bit of math to make sure it's kind of the same for a percentage, you know. So the point that I really wanted to make here is that you got to be super, super, super careful of the fixed and how you write it up, okay? Because if you left that as 3.0, again, that points to 3%, and that, or 3 lot sizes, right? 3 standard lots. 3 standard lots. And just to remind you, if that one trade just so happened to lose, you would have lost $1,500 on a $3,000 account. Okay? $1,500 on a $3,000 account. Where in this instance, right, if you were, let's see, one second here, go back to here. If we were to, let's put this back to 3,000. You know, again, if we had, if we use 0.18, right, we would only use $90. We would only lose $90, which is essentially 3% of our risk. So super, super important to make sure that we are using these two settings correctly. Now, the option is still there, folks. Trade at your own risk. This is completely up to you and how you do that. There's a bunch of different strategies. You probably can adjust these settings using the trail stop and using a false, you know, use all this to take profit, change that to false. You can use it various ways, right? But the important thing that I want to make sure is that you understand the difference between fixed and percentage and what you could potentially lose if you're not paying attention to it. So be very, very vigilant about how you set that up. Make sure you double check, triple check, especially if you have a very small account and you're a low risk type person. Okay, so if you have a $100,000 account, oh man, I can't see $100,000. 1, 2, 3, there we go. All right, boom. Let's do. It would actually be risking about 1.5% of that, and guess what you would lose? $1,500. All right, but you'd only be risking 0.15% for a 3 standard lot for a 50 pip loss. So again, very, very, very different math. See, and for a $1,000 account, if I put just one standard lot, you know, obviously I would lose 50% of my balance. So you can't even, again, 3 standard lots. It's just not possible. So it won't take the trade because you won't have the money in your account to even do it. So again, real quick, so I don't want to confuse you too much, but again, make sure that you double check that what this is set on matches the number in the very next field. Okay, super, super important. Then you're gonna discuss or decide how to use this. Now, if you set this to false, these numbers they're not into play. Okay, they're not into play. This is an advanced thing, so you're just going to have to, maybe I'll do another video on what that really truly means. But for now, I just wanted to make sure that you understand the difference between fixed and percentage rate. I apologize for the extended amount of time, but super, not just something very simple to kind of like, this is what it does and boom, you know, that's it. All right, so anyway, hope it helped, guys, and I hope that you're able to use it to your advantage and to really win big. All right, happy trading.